have. But we've got to find a way to put 4 quarters together. You know, like we played 3.5 good quarters, I would say. And it's a good team from the A-10. It's a really good league. Credit to them and what they were able to do. Took advantage of a lot of our turnovers. We won the boards. We haven't won the boards once this year. I think that's a great highlight. But still got to hold them to under 15 offensive rebounds. Really, I'm proud of our group because we had a really great week of practice. We were really prepared. We were really ready to play them. And just unfortunate that didn't swing our way here today.
One of the things I did notice, defense was tenacious all game long.
Yeah.
Talk about a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's been a big focus of us, for us to be able to focus on concepts, do what it is that we're supposed to do, move on flight of ball, get to places you need to be in, and scout. Like, you got to understand the scout. I think our group really honed in on the scout this past week, understood who were shooters, who were not, did a really great job of the scout side of it all. And so it's the whole package. It's being able to understand scout, know personnel, go back to your own concepts of what you're good at, and then finishing the possession with rebounds. You know, like I think we had a third quarter with no offensive rebounds, and like you hold another fourth quarter like that, and I think this game's a little bit different. So yeah, we're growing up, and it's happening pretty fast here. So
there was a stretch to end the first quarter and the start of the second where you held them to no points for 9 minutes. Can you talk a little bit specifically about what the game plan was defensively? I know you said scouting, but what all went into today's matchup defensively?
yeah, I would say it was understanding our placement where we needed to be. You know, we watched a lot of film from our past games, seeing some of the defensive help side, where you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to move flight of ball. I thought we had some really good ball pressure. We had gotten some steals too, I think, which really led to, I mean, we haven't gotten teams down to shot clocks probably since 2022. So I think it was really great just to see us like sit down and stance and like make things really hard for people and them get down to the end of their shot clock. You know, I think that part of it is like fuel for our team to understand that like it takes a lot of work to guard for 30 seconds, to guard for multiple possessions for 30 seconds. You said 9 minutes, so that was like multiple possessions of, and we call them kills, where you get 3 stops in a row. I mean, we probably had, 5 or 6, 8 kills in that stretch. And so our team just really honing in on like, we can be a good defensive team. We can generate offense from our defense, and knowing that they're good at that. I think today gave us some confidence on that side of the ball a little bit.
Yeah, I think you proved that. I will say one of your keys to the game was assists, sharing the ball, working inside out. Your goal was 15 or more assists, but 11 assists on 18 made baskets. That's a pretty good ratio for today.
Yeah, it is. It is. I thought we did a nice job of sharing it. I think the one stat that's pretty glaringly different is the 22 turnovers. So just finding it in ourselves to like, hey, when you don't have a primary, when you don't have something in transition, I think a lot of those came in some transition. Maybe we were forcing things. Both of the teams, we were like trading the ball back and forth to each other, which is never good. So just finding it in us to understand when we don't have numbers, like just bring it out, run good offense, and that's going to get us some assist stuff.
Question for Kendall. Came in, you hadn't scored yet for the Cougars. Now you get your first 12, so career highs across the board. I know you'd rather have the win, but 2 big threes at the end to keep you guys in it, 4 made baskets, 12 points, also 4 rebounds. Talk a little bit about how you felt today and how this will build for you going forward.
Well, I think I've struggled with confidence recently, and Coach Sam has really done a great job, like just telling me you have the greenest of green lights, like you're shooting it. And when I went in, she said, don't hesitate. If you get the ball, you're shooting it. So that's what I did. And it was a bank, but it went in. So
exactly.
And then rebounding, I've been really trying to work on that because sometimes my shots don't go in, so I need to do something else and contribute to the team. So I'm really proud that I got 4 rebounds because I've been struggling with rebounding, but it's been a big focus point. So
that's good. We commented on the broadcast that today the banks are open till 3. So you hit a couple.
They were.
Yeah.
Stolen it
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You're cashing your checks.
Yeah.
Bree, I wanted to ask you, real close to a double-double, but they've got some big players, and there was a challenge, but you've been standing up to the challenge all season. Talk about your attitude going in, knowing you're going to have to bang with their best players.
Well, after the last game that we had, Coach Sam told me, you need to get rebounds. You can't have 4 offensive rebounds and no defensive rebounds. And she's been harping the post on that, so I made sure that that's what I was doing, that's what I was focused on. And I'm a bigger girl. I might be not as tall, but I'm strong, so I'm always going to have my presence down there, and they're going to know. So I made sure that I bodied, I boxed out, they felt me, and I was trying to get that ball. That's all I did.
Bree, your presence was felt. I could tell that you stepped into that leadership role here today. Can you talk about the difference between the first 2 games and coming in today? There was a difference in your game, both offensively and defensively.
So this week, we took a tough loss against Murray State, and I feel like that really woke us up. Like, you never want to go out by that many points. And we didn't play tough. We didn't play hard collectively. Today we all played hard. We were playing for each other. We have a new saying that we go by, leading fearlessly with unity and trust. And today we made sure we did that. We were sharing the ball, and I made sure that I was one of the players, telling everybody, we are going by this. We are doing this. And I'm just happy that it fell through. We got a good game today, but on to the next.
I think
We gotta keep that intensity.
one thing about Bree too, and I would say Hallie, they did a really nice job on Tannen. Tannen is a very good A10 post player, power forward.
She had a double-double against you guys.
Yeah. I mean, she was a beast, and played well against DePaul too. I felt so just to be able to find that in themselves. So hey, we can guard now, and we can rebound,
Yeah.
and continuing to build on that, some confidence. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
great point. She went scoreless, I believe,
Yeah.
the first 3 quarters.
Mhm.
Definitely kudos to you.
Bree, one last thing for you. I know you talked about being more efficient around the basket.
Yes, sir.
Today, 5 for 6. That's
Pretty good for me.
Yeah, that's efficient, right? That's what
Yes,
you were
sir.
talking about. How do you focus? What do you do to make sure you're more efficient close up? Especially when you're always being bumped, you're always being hit. So it's not easy, but you made it look a little easier today.
It's practice. It's getting those extra shots up. This week, Coach Sam made the whole team make 500 shots. And obviously I did that, and then I did extra workouts. I got workouts in with her. I got workouts in with Coach Eric. And we all did this week, and I feel like that's why we were all collectively efficient. Yeah, at the rim.
Coach, you guys had 34 bench points today. In the first half, they kind of really stepped up for you guys. How deep do you think this team can be?
Yeah, I mean, we're pushing 10 and 11 right now, so the energy that comes off the bench is really, really great stuff. Now, those players that come off the bench are also competing for starting spots and playing time, which is exactly what you want your team to be doing. You want your team to be in practice and battling every day and all right, who's going to come on game day and give us what we need. And I love the buy-in from everyone that those individuals, even our bench that didn't play, they are so invested. Rory Conboy is so invested. Alexis Warren, Kyra, Carmen, they are so, Olivia Loveland, so invested, which is awesome to see. That even if you don't get on the floor and you don't step in there and have a second played, that you are fully invested in what we're doing. And so we just need to continue to build off that. But really was great to see some of that energy off the bench, especially to start the game.
Jaden Bryant got her first
Yep.
minutes today,
Yeah.
first start. Talk a little bit about her and what she brings.
Yeah, I said at halftime, wow, it's so nice to see her out there and moving and playing and, can rebound, she's a long defender. She turns up the energy and the excitement, intensity on the defensive end for sure. I would say she's one of our best defenders, and so to have her on that side of the ball is really, really big for us. And injuries happen. It's a part of life. It's a part of game. It's a part of sport at the highest level. And so I think this group has really done a good job of weathering this storm a little bit. And so they're going to be ready. They're going to be so ready when their fellow teammates come back. They're going to be so ready and competing and prepared when the OVC comes. I think that's the most exciting thing for our group.
Bree, you talked a little bit about the tough loss earlier. What do you think about your response this game? Because you had control of it pretty much the entire game until the end.
We came out with tenacity, and that's something that we have been lacking. We'll have our moments, but we need to make sure it's every quarter. As she said, it was 3.5 quarters. It needs to be all 4. And y'all saw that at the beginning, like we came in with this type of energy, like, no, we're not going down like that again. Like we're playing for each other, and that's what we did today.
You got 2 games coming up this week. Roosevelt on Tuesday, and then you go to Central Florida, Big 12 opponent. Talk a little bit about the games next week.
Yeah, just exciting to get an opportunity to play here one more time at home before Thanksgiving break as well. You know, we'll have a few days off after UCF. Well, our eyes are on Roosevelt right now. I would say that that's like a big priority for us to be really focused on the day-to-day, giving our best effort, our best shot individually and collectively every single day. That's what tomorrow's going to be about. You know, and this type of week, it's interesting, like, you know, you got to give your team off days throughout the week. And like, maybe some teams would take off tomorrow, but like, I feel like our team is really hungry. Like our team wants to come to practice tomorrow. Like our team wants to watch some film and learn something. And I think that's really, really important that we have a group that really wants to do that. I know days off are nice. And they'll get one on Wednesday when we travel, but just to be ready and invested in, hey, we need 2 really good practices so we can be ready for Roosevelt on Tuesday.
And one last, go ahead.
How important is it to build off of that attitude of hunger, though?
Yeah, no, it's huge. And I mean, this group is hungry from last year, you know, from the multiple 6 to 7 to 8 point losses last year. There's 10 returners on this roster that are so hungry and so over losing, you know. You better believe I'm over it. Our staff's over it, but our players are, and that's really, really important to have like a team that gets that, understands that, and now is starting to understand that like it takes really, really hard work to go from the bottom to the top, to compete and to be at that place of getting over the hump, you know. And so I'm just proud of our group. I hope we have another great week of practice.
One last question away from the game for a minute. You had Kate Martin, Edwardsville,
We
native,
did.
come in and talk to the team yesterday, who plays for the Las Vegas
Aces.
in the WNBA. Your sister Allie Quigley was here today, WNBA champion. Courtney Vandersloot was in the crowd today.
Yeah.
I mean, how cool is that for your team, for you to have the support of those types of players?
Just phenomenal. Our group got to talk with Kate yesterday. You know, she came in our locker room, shared her story, you know, shared the good things, shared the bad times, the tough times, her role changing, you know, and she talked a lot about like this imposter syndrome that like, I didn't think I could be as good as I am, and now I am. And I think all of them could take a note from that like, hey, if you think this is the peak of your basketball playing, like you are so wrong. You could be so much better. You have so much potential. You have so much opportunity every day. And so it was really cool to hear from Kate. They might hear from Allie and Courtney in the next couple days too. So they'll be all inspired for Tuesday, hopefully.
Very good.
Yeah, thank you.